score, and it is a 1. Yes. So I'm very addicted.
That's not good.
I think
but not surprising.
On that.
Yeah, no. you definitely are addicted to Facebook too.
And it's just, yeah, I got the app on my phone. I didn't know. There are all new levels of addiction when you have it on your phone too. But
yep, definitely.
It does a lot of good for us too.
Yes, it does.
Good time.
All right, well, a lot of you heading out right now are going to be enjoying some mini construction zones out there. We're still looking at free-flowing traffic, a lot of green. Of course, I'll be standing by letting you know when we do start to see things get a little jammed up out there. All right, it's time now to take a look at our weather, which maybe won't be quite as nice. Morning, everyone. We're starting off our Tuesday morning commute without a lot of trouble to talk about out there. So let's highlight a few construction zones, which tend to create a little extra congestion for us during this time of year. This is Highway 52 in the northbound direction. A tight squeeze between Butler Avenue and the Lafayette Bridge, but we're seeing traffic able to move at the posted speed despite the fact we don't have much of a shoulder to work with here. 169, another spot where it's a little bit tight as you go northbound toward that 494 construction zone, but so far we're moving at about 55 miles per hour. We do tend to see this get a little bit backed up later in the morning, but so far so good. Let's look now at 694 at Lexington Avenue. We see the sky lightening up. We see traffic continuing to build, and in this area at Lexington Avenue over 694 we have traffic reduced to 1 lane in both directions, especially southbound traffic will be impacted usually during the morning commute at this build here, but no major slowdowns. 94 eastbound, same there. Really all in general we're seeing green across the board. To the northeast is where we are heavy in the construction issues, but so far even 35 east southbound through that single file traffic zone near White Bear Lake. We're still just barely seeing some slowdowns at County Road 96 north of there. We're still looking good. Something else that's going to be going on within the next few days is we have that Highway 88 resurfacing project between 35W and County Road D. So definitely construction keeping us on our toes on this Tuesday morning. Guys.
Thank you, Kelsey.
Roadways and what I'm seeing for those of you about to head out the door, that you're looking at some pretty nice driving conditions unless you're entering one of our mini construction zones. It is that time of year where unfortunately it slows you down just a bit, but so far if you're getting out the door at this early hour, hopefully you shouldn't have too big of a delay. This is 35E at County Road 96. Could be much worse here in the southbound direction of the interstate between Forest Lake and White Bear Lake, where we will have single file traffic throughout the summer. Right now the jamming up not beginning until County Road 96. So a little north of here, even at County Road H2, we're still moving along. Keeping our eye on is Highway 88 between County Road D and 35W. You'll be seeing some intermittent lane restrictions, ramp closures through June while we resurface that highway. All right, we'll take a closer look at the southern suburbs in about 10 minutes, so stay with us. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with the Fox 9 Morning News. A smoky scene on Highway 36 as we have firefighters on the scene of a car fire trying to put down the flames right in the middle of rush hour traffic. This is happening on the westbound side. So as you're traveling westbound near Rice Street, really in between 35E and 35W, I'm afraid we're going to start to see some backups. Already we're starting to see some single file traffic forming as you approach that scene. That includes vehicles, that includes school buses. So a lot of people are going to be affected as we pass by this. Not so much because it involves a lot of vehicles, but because it's enough of a scene here where people are definitely going to be putting on those brakes. You're even going to see that in the eastbound side. You see those brake lights popping on here. No details. It's just unfolding within the last couple of minutes. You and I watching this live together as we see firefighters trying to clear this out, get this taken care of, so no details on the person involved in this situation. Of course, we'll be keeping our eye on, and I'll let you know as we see things unfold. But for the most part, just know through Roseville, westbound 36, with this vehicle fire, we could be seeing some related delays. To a few other spots across the Twin Cities. For the rest of you, smooth sailing for the most part unless you enter one of those construction zones. Highway 88 is one of those between 35W and County Road D. You can see here at 35W that ramp to Highway 88 blocked off here with some cones and some barring measures. Something to keep in mind really in that whole area. You'll see some lane closures on Highway 88, some of those. And I'll have another update coming up in about 10 minutes. So stay with us because there's much more to come. We're keeping an eye on a car fire here in Roseville. This is Highway 36 at Rice Street, heading in the eastbound direction. We watched about 10 minutes ago as firefighters worked to put out the fire that was on this vehicle. No details as to the driver involved. We're hoping, of course, that he or she was able to get out before this whole situation began to unfold. I would think there'd be many more emergency crews on the scene if there was any injury. Now, what we're dealing with traffic-wise is eastbound traffic backed up starting at Dale Street is where we're seeing stop-and-go conditions kicking into gear. Now, this, of course, does affect the westbound side as well. People stopping to check it out, tending to see the westbound side heavier at this hour. So add that together and you have this. This is 35E, that junction where we're seeing westbound 36 starting to get backed up. So in both directions as you approach 36 at Rice Street, just be prepared. That entire trek through Roseville going to be very slow until we get this situation fire situation is, but overall still plenty of color in other parts on other major interstates. A lot of it having to do with our construction zones. The Northwest not looking too shabby, and going a little bit farther south, just starting to see that traffic really get going. So I'll be standing by letting you know how conditions probably get a little worse as we move forward, guys.
Okay, sometimes they have to get worse before they get better.
That's the way it works.
All right, thank you.
Inside at Rice Street, but we had the westbound traffic slow down a bit as we passed by. The situation is cleared, but still some traffic as you saw. Overall, our map looking like it's getting busier out there, especially on the north side of town, 35W and 35E in those construction zones. Also expect some added traffic on Lexington Avenue over 694 and also Highway 88 between 35W and County Road D due to some construction there. South side of town starting to really see those levels increase as far as congestion goes. All of another update coming up for you in about 10 minutes, guys.
Right, we'll see you then. Thanks, Kels.
Morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Fox 5 Morning News. I'm Kelsey Sobey. Glad you're spending some time with us today. We're looking out at our roadways. If you're driving in the Twin Cities area, it is the heart of rush hour, and you will be met with plenty of company, especially here on 35W in the northbound direction of Burnsville Parkway. We have a two-vehicle crash here pulled over to the shoulder, but this is already such a highly traveled route between that Burnsville split up to the Minnesota River Bridge, so you can expect the slowdowns to be even greater than usual. We have another crash out there, or we did rather have a car fire on westbound Highway 36, or I should say westbound 36 is what's being mostly impacted. The car fire itself happened on the eastbound side here in the Roseville area at Rice Street. As a result, we're seeing westbound traffic backed up even more than usual, starting to see those reduced speeds here at Edgerton Street. We do see a bit of an improvement after Rice, but typically around this hour. Mile over 694, Highway 88, a resurfacing project between 35W and County Road D. 52 northbound, a jam up starting at Butler Avenue, single file traffic zone into St. Paul, although those of you traveling that route have probably started to get used to that. All right, we are going now to M.A. Roscoe. 94 jam cams. You can see the sprinkles here and there, maybe difficult to see on your TV screen at home, but it's not the main culprit for why our westbound traffic here is slowing down. That was already occurring as these drivers were heading right into that construction zone, which starts at about Highway 280 Cretin Avenue. So be prepared. The slowdowns may get worse as we see the moisture coming down. Not enough that's really going to create any hydroplaning or any issues like that, but when you just see some of the rain coming down, people just put their brakes on. Checking out Highway 13 at Washburn Avenue, we see westbound traffic slow going as we approach an area near Lynn Avenue where we had a crash that has now been cleared, but again already that congestion underway. This is just a little bit east of that Highway 13 101 construction zone, so that all kind of a messy spot right now. 35W County Road 42 down in Burnsville. This is what we call that Burnsville split. 35W northbound traffic still slow going after a crash at Burnsville Parkway. That's been cleared, and if you're splitting off the other way heading northbound on 35E right now, that drive actually right at that Burnsville split. 169 northbound slow going as you approach 494. The crosstown on 494 overall, though, not too shabby for a Tuesday morning. 52 northbound, we had a stalled vehicle right in that single file construction zone around Plato Boulevard. Fortunately, that was quickly cleared. That can definitely be a big headache when you just have one lane of traffic working and someone's car decides to stop. To the Northeast Metro 35E southbound, slow going right as we get into the Lino Lakes area all the way down south of County Road 96. And unfortunately, those of you who were using Lexington Avenue as your alternate to the closed Snelling Avenue near 694. Well, now Lexington Avenue construction is underway. You'll be seeing single file traffic in the north and southbound directions, which could add to the mess already in that big construction zone. I'll have another update coming up for you in about 10 minutes, but right now, Tom Alex, take it away.
All right. Thank you, Kelsey.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Fox 9 Morning News. You're waking up to a Tuesday that is filled with a tiny bit of sunshine here and there, but mostly clouds and even some rain. But the rain is not impacting our morning commute so far. You're just seeing some wet roadways here and there. 94, for example, we are seeing some eastbound traffic slowing as you enter Maple Grove and a little bit of dampness out there, but no big deal. It looks like a pretty typical morning on the I-94 corridor in the northwest. This is 35E. Northbound traffic slow going here at 7th Street. Really, that stretch from Mendota Heights up into St. Paul. We see reduced speeds. We do on 36, extra heavy traffic today after a car fire in Roseville right around Rice Street. That's been cleared, but still some residual traffic from that backed up to Highway 61. 35E, 35W, that's nothing new. This is, though, Lexington Avenue, single file traffic in both directions over 694. Unfortunately, this was some of your alternative routes for Snelling, which was closed in the same area. So you'll have to follow detour signs and maybe try out a new route today. To the southern suburbs, a quick glance for you to show you where we see reduced speeds. That's where we see the orange and red colors, a lot of it in the typical spots. Another update for you in about 10 minutes. Well, right. the more they lose, the more my friends with season tickets are willing to let me borrow their tickets.
Oh, that's true.
The upside.
So, there's the bright side.
There's a silver lining this morning. Good morning, you guys. We're looking
Kelsey.
outside and seeing that there's going on Highway 88, a resurfacing project between 35W and County Road D results in some lane and ramp closures, so be prepared for some slowdowns there. 35E, of course, bright red, slow-moving traffic in the single-file construction zone there. 36 westbound, still a little bit slower than normal after a car fire in Roseville earlier this morning, which has long since been cleared. So definitely we're still dealing with some congestion out there. Hopefully throughout the 8 o'clock hour, we will start to see things winding down. All right, it is 8:09 on the nose, and you know what that means. It's time for. We are spotting some of those scattered showers throughout the Twin Cities area and making those roadways a little damp, but even here on 694 doesn't seem to be a significant amount of moisture to be slowing us down at all. So let's hop around to a few spots where we are seeing slowdowns. Not many of the spots left, but 52 northbound is one of them. We're seeing Thompson Avenue right here, this traffic northbound already slowing at this point. Then you get a little north of Butler Avenue and things do pick up. This is entering that construction though on Highway 52 where we go down to just one lane of traffic. So on 35E in that construction, this is another one of those areas where we definitely see the rain coming down on the roadways. Also Lexington Avenue at 694 down to single file traffic in both directions starting today. That was some of your alternate route for the Snelling Avenue closures, so that could switch things up for you. Highway 88 between 35W and County Road D, a resurfacing project there is closing some ramps and some lanes that could slow you down. 36 westbound finally starting to loosen up after an early morning car fire in the eastbound side of traffic actually slowed even our westbounders down. A little farther to our south, as I showed you in that first traffic camera, 52 northbound still has some slow moments, but it does improve as you approach St. Paul. 35E northbound has actually been fairly slow. We see speeds of about 35 to 40 miles per hour right now as you make that trek from 494 up northbound to 7th Street. And then in the Southwest Metro, heaviest traffic still 35W northbound. We did have a crash at Burnsville Parkway that contributed to this mess. Otherwise, a lot of it still concentrated in the typical spots, 494 to the crosstown. But Alex, I think we'll continue to see things winding down.
That's what we'd like to see.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Kelsey.